morning, everyone. This week, I am going to start off with a quote from each person that we cover, and then each of the kids will talk about their person. Starting off with, be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. That is from 12th Night. Okay, Missy, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Isabella d'Este, Leon Battista Alberti, Johannes Gutenberg, Fra Mammiro, Luca Pacioli, Nicholas Copernicus, Leonardo da Vinci, Guillaume de Fay, Christine de Pizan, Sandro Botticelli. These people may sound extremely different, but they all have one thing in common: gossip. Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Taylor, and I am super excited for my section this month, because after all the boring stuff that I went over last month, I can finally start talking about all the gossip. But before I start, I would like to ask all of you if you could say nothing about any of this, because if they find out, it'll be off with her head. Fun fact, William Shakespeare wrote this in one of his plays. The first person I'm going to be talking about is Johannes Gutenberg. You're probably like, what's the gossip about him? All he did was invent the printing press. But did he really? That's right. I heard he may not have invented the printing press by himself, or even altogether. He probably didn't even know the influences of his inventions. Following the thought of too little knowledge, this person had way too much knowledge. Fra Mammiro had access to forbidden knowledge, or at least that's what I heard. Do you think he was pirating books, or maybe even tablets of information? Wow, that's a lot of information to take in, but there's still a lot coming. Next up, Luca Pacioli. Many people believe he was more than just a monk. I heard he might have been wealthy, and he had many rivalries with other mathematicians. Wait, did you know Nicholas Copernicus might have just wanted to impress scholars and not even get his point across? He was also known as the quiet genius, but people believe Mr. Copernicus was trying to rewrite the whole history of science. Okay, now on to Isabella d'Este. Did you know her daughter was poisoned? Most likely by a rivalry to d'Este or a member of court, but I think not. I think it was Isabella herself, and oh wait,
No!
Did I say that
out loud?
Oh wait, did I say that out loud? He wrote a handbook for artists. I mean, Leon Battista Alberti wrote a handbook for artists. Alright, now moving on to Leonardo da Vinci. I heard he had a secret code that you could only see in a mirror, and he may have stolen bodies for his work.
What?
Okay, taking a step back to China, please, people. Guillaume de Fay was said to have been trying to please the Medici, so he could become rich. Now, Christine de Pizan was criticized by male writers. Do you think she ever criticized them?
No. Never.
We are on to the last historical figure, Sandro Botticelli. Many believe there was a specific woman that inspired his works. Wow, someone's in love, yet still never married. I thank you all so much for listening, and make sure to join me next time where we will be trading in more gossip and secrets. Goodbye.
Okay, up next we have Vera, and her quote is, "The stage is not merely the meeting place of all the arts, but it's also the return of art to life." Okay, Vera, here we go.
My name is Vera Lynn, and welcome to the Stage of Change, where we talk about the Renaissance theater, its flow in its early comedies, and the impact on culture of the era. The Renaissance was a time and rebirth of art, science, and culture. After the Middle Ages, theater, which has been meaningful, found new life. The rediscovery of classic in Greek and Roman texts led to the revival in drama. Playwrights like practice and talent influenced Italian comedy, while There was waltz-shaped tragedy. Italy, with cities like Florence and Venice were hot spots for the media dell'arte. It's a type of theater that's all made up right then. This led to France, England, and Spain, putting in their own flavor. Plays in the Renaissance a lot of times helped people learn. Lots of times they were based off of what happened in the past and around them. Really teach the audience history in a fun way, and mythology and ethics. The stage became how we would show people in politics, religion, and where people acted like. This often led to people having to cut out part of the plays, dun dun dun, because the people watching them would disagree on certain scenes. Theater became a part of our culture. It became a great thing for entertainment, celebration, and for reflection. It was where people that liked and believed different things could share and learn. Here's a question for the listeners, real quick. What kind is a happy play? Tragedy, comedy, or drama? I'll let you think about that one. While we talk about Isabella D'Este. She was a patron of the arts, a musician, a singer, and a dancer. She was also a politician and a gardener. She was a Renaissance woman of her time. She also helped out a lot with the theater. As we draw the tortoise on today's episode, it's clear that in the Renaissance, theater was not just about performance. It was about culture, how people acted, and evolution. To the happiness of comedy, to the sadness of tragedy. These plays were made by people and their experience at this time. Thanks for joining us on the Stage of Change.
Awesome! Good job! Woo! Good job, babe! Okay, up next we have Ari, and her quote is, "I was more intent on creating and supporting culture than fighting." Interesting. Okay, Ari, you ready?
Hello again, it's me, Ari, and today we're doing trends and influences, which is how all the different clothes look. Popular clothes were made out of silk, wool, and leather. Did you know that silk is made of silkworms and leather is animal skin? Isabella D'Este was married to a guy named Duke. She had a gold medal. And did you know that one dress can be made out of different fabrics? But I don't know why. When Isabella D'Este was a kid, she loved learning. My question for the listeners, what were popular clothes made out of?
Okay, what were popular clothes made of? That's her question for today. Good job, Ari! Woo! Yeah! Okay, thank you so much.
The Bible took place in 1978, which sold for $2.4 million. The price of a complete copy today is estimated at $25 to $35 million. Oh, I was right, they are expensive. Johannes Gutenberg is known as the father of printing because he was the first to combine the use of molded, movable metal type, a press, and printer's ink. Unfortunately, Gutenberg's actual press, the very first printing press, has been lost to history. And my question for the listeners is, what was the estimated amount for a Gutenberg Bible?
Woohoo! Good job, Sam. Well done. Did you know that there are still 21 complete copies of the Gutenberg Bible now, which kind of means that he's still spreading God's word.
Wait, wasn't he the one that kind of rewrote the Bible?
Okay, we're going to take a little break. Okay, up next we have Brantley, and he's going to be covering Leonardo da Vinci. So my quote for him today is, "Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets." Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, here we go.
Hello, thank you for joining me again. My name is Brantley, and today we will be talking about Leonardo da Vinci. While Leonardo da Vinci was a proud inventor of many machines, he also has an estimated 20,000 to 28,000 pages of sketches. Today I will be going over just a few of the machines he sketched, and a few of the ones he actually built. Da Vinci believed that nothing humanity makes is more beautiful than Mother Nature. Let's talk about some of my favorite ideas that were found among his many sketches. Da Vinci came up with the ideal city, which was ahead of its time. It was conceived during the Italian Renaissance as a comprehensive plan that was never built in his lifetime, but showed his understanding of architecture and innovative solutions for transportation, sanitation, and public spaces. Next up, we have the robotic knight, and it was a remarkable invention. This robot was an ingenious creation without any unnecessary parts, and inspired some of NASA's robots. It had an elaborate pulley system on the inside and gears and cogs on the outside. Though there were only a few drawings scattered throughout his notebooks. Third up, we have the flying machine, basically a helicopter. It was heavily based on nature. The person would fly at the center of the device, and it was made of pine and raw silk. The wings would have been pointed like a bat and spanned 33 feet. They would be powered by a pedal crank, rod, and pulley system. Leonardo da Vinci knew that no human would be able to generate the amount of power needed for flight, though. Now for the helical airscrew. It consisted of a circular platform and a huge star-shaped canopy made of linen. The pilots would power the device by twisting cranks, which would in theory lift the machine. My favorite design is the armored car, which was basically a tank powered by pulling hand cranks on the inside. The vehicle would be virtually unstoppable at the time. The slope design would force projectiles to go upwards, and it had cannons. Now to make its transition to the self-propelled car. It was left on paper until the 20th century. It was originally sketched for the theater. Now for the machines he was able to build during his lifetime. There weren't as many, but they were still very interesting. Here are a few. The Da Vinci clock, a clock powered by gravity. He did not invent the clock, but made a better version, and a more accurate one. It had two separate mechanisms, one for minutes and one for hours, and he used springs instead of weights to operate his clock. The Da Vinci revolving bridge was easy to set up with few materials necessary, and if you continue the pattern, it will make a full circle. You need to have all the pieces. If you remove even one piece, it will collapse. It was mostly used in the military because of the cheap and few resources needed to make it. Now for my personal favorite of his many builds, the flying actors. It was an elaborate pulley system with counterweights that made it appear as if the actors were flying like mythical beings across the set. His genius lasted through the ages, inspiring modern inventors and even some of NASA's many creations. During his lifetime, many regarded him as eccentric, failing to grasp the depths of his brilliance until after his passing. Leonardo da Vinci was among the greatest inventors the world has ever known, and a genius among geniuses. Thank you for your attention. Now for my viewer question. Did Leonardo have a love for nature?
Good job.
He did!
Yes, he did.
But it was one.
So something interesting about Da Vinci is that even though he had around 28,000 sketches potentially, only 7,000 of them still exist today. So we kind of aren't even getting a full spectrum of his genius, which is sad. Okay, up next we are going to have Vivian talking about Guillaume de Fay. And I have the politicians and the experts who possess neither audacity nor imagination reject every radical solution. Ready?
Ready?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. Welcome back to Notes Through Time, where we explore the evolution of music. Today we're focusing on the rise of choral music, spotlighting a few people like Guillaume Dufay and Isabella d'Este, and diving into how composers have shaped this art form. Okay, so the Renaissance was a pivotal era for Western music, and also marked a very significant change towards polyphony, where like multiple independent melodies make one. This period also saw the birth of choral music as we know it today, with sacred and secular music flourishing in complexity and beauty. So now let's talk about Guillaume Dufay. He was born in 1397 and died in 1474, and he is one of the most recognizable composers of the early Renaissance. Dufay bridged the medieval and Renaissance styles together. His works are also known for having a very smooth, flowing, polyphony and clear, melodious lines. Dufay's compositions, like Newport Rosaire Flores, showcase the use of isorhythm, which became a hallmark of the era. His music for the church and secular courts set new standards for harmony itself because it was so good. Dufay's moets and masses and instrumentals started defying the polyphonic style. He contributed to the development of psychomass, where all the movements of were musically unified and influenced the structure of choral compositions for centuries to come. Now let's talk about Isabella d'Este. She was born in 1474 and died in 1539, and was not a composer, but an influential patroness of the arts in Italy in the Italian Renaissance. Her court in Mutina was the center of musical innovation, and she supported lots of musicians and composers and fostered an environment where new musical styles could develop. By commissioning her works, she attracted talent and helped spread the new musical techniques and styles across Europe. Her patronage allowed composers to experiment and disseminate choral music, making Mutina a hotspot for musical exchange. So the Renaissance period had several music styles that influenced choral music. Polyphony was the art that combined a lot of instruments or voices and made it into one melody. This was not just like layering melodies, but it created a very harmonious interaction where each line could stand on its own but contribute to a whole. A cappella, which is like a song sung without any instruments, which became very prevalent, and it emphasized the purity of your vocal sound or voice. Word painting, like composers like Dufay, started to match music and text much more closely, where the music could illustrate the meaning of the words, adding a layer of expression to choral music. And you might ask, how do composers influence the development of choral music? So, composers were basically just the architects in the music's evolution. Through their works, composers like Dufay introduced new forms of the moets and mass settings, which became the foundation for choral literature. They expanded the harmony itself and experiment with distance and resolution, which enriched the emotion in all of their choral pieces. And by moving between courts and cities, composers could spread all of their ideas, leading across the pollination of styles and techniques. Many composers were also teachers or chapel masters, and thus they influenced the next generation very specifically so that all of their techniques could carry on. Figures like Isabella d'Este ensured that music was not only composed. Wait, is that 10 minutes?
You're okay. You're good.
Oh, okay. Figures like Isabella d'Este ensured that music was not only composed, but also performed and appreciated, creating a demand for more sophisticated choral compositions. Okay, here's my question. Which type of music is many different, voices and musics, and instruments woven into one? I'll let you think about that. While we conclude this episode of Notes Through Time, where we saw how composers can create and educate people with music. Wait, I said that wrong. Sorry.
It's okay. Go for it.
Profoundly shaping this course of choral music, and their legacies continue to resonate in modern choral performances and compositions.
Awesome. Good job. Very well done. Okay, so we're going to take a little break and we'll listen to music. Okay, now after our break, let's cover some of the questions that you guys said. Who had Ari? You had a question. What was your question?
What were popular clothes made out of?
Oh, what were popular clothes made out of?
Cotton.
Silk.
Satin.
And cotton.
People's hair.
How'd we do? Silk, satin, wool, cotton.
The
People's
only
hair.
one that you got right was silk.
Silk.
Yeah.
Okay.
People's hair.
All right, good job.
Silk, wool, and leather.
Awesome. Okay, and Sam also had a question. Sam, what was your question?
What was the estimated amounts for a Gutenberg Bible?
Estimated.
37.
Okay.
12 to, I think, $15 million.
25 to $35 million.
Okay, 12 to 15 and then all the way up to 30 million. What do we got?
25 to $35 million.
25 to 35 million. Wow. Okay, there we go. Woo! That's intense.
Don't eat that much.
Okay, up next we have Jacques, and he's going to be covering Leon Battista. So the quote I have for him is, "The artist is nothing without the gift, but the gift is nothing without the artist."
Wait.
I don't know.
Get it.
It says without the work, but mine sounds better. Okay, all right, ready? Go.
G'day, mate. I done come to tell you about Renaissance architects and architecture. Today we will talk about my good friend Leon Battista Alberti. He was a Renaissance architect born on 14th of February 1404, died 25th of April 1472. He was an architect known for his famous buildings called the Rucellai Palazzo. He was also a linguist, priest, and poet. He was also the one that documented Brunelleschi's discoveries and linear perspective. Who would have thunk it? My good friend Leon Battista Alberti. Now let's talk about how his buildings were influenced. His buildings in the Renaissance were influenced by freestanding columns, arches, because he was a mathematician. He included symmetry, proportion, and harmony in his work. He gathered inspiration from ancient buildings and writings of Vitruvius. This is how classical architecture was influenced. Now tell me something new you learned, my fellow listeners. Until next time, say Jay, out.
Good job, Jock. That was awesome. I love it. Okay. Up next, we have Emma, and Emma is covering Isabella d'Este. Her quote is, "For me, it is twofold. First, it is the gift of an education, and second, to use it for the advancement of society." All right, Emma, let's hear what you got to say about Isabella d'Este.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I want to talk to you about Isabella d'Este. Isabella d'Este loved music and arts and made her own music and arts. Before I say goodbye, I want to tell you something. That one of the romantic women in science was Maria Curie, and she worked alongside of Johannes Kepler. And they made a book called Urania Prometea. Margareta Cavendish did not work with anyone, but she did make pokes, and she was a scientist and fiction writer. Maria Wickelmann did not work with anyone, but she did work as an astronomer. And last but not least, Maria Sibylla Merlin did not work with anyone, but she did work as a naturalist and a nature artist. Well, that's it for today, but before I forget, who was a fiction writer? See you soon!
Woo! Good job! All right, Emma, good job. Okay, so let's go over a couple of the questions that we had from before. Vivian, can you give me your question?
Okay. My question was, which kind of music is Multiple voices and instruments all woven into one.
Okay, so what kind of music is instruments and voices all woven in?
Oh, but you don't use instruments.
No, that's. Okay, answer polyphony. But
What?
she said a carnival or something like that.
Yeah?
What was the
Awesome. Okay, polyphony is the answer. You guys failed her. Good job. Okay. Brantley's question. What is the other one we haven't answered? What do you got, bud?
Did Leonardo have a love for nature?
Yes! He loved everything he made.
Yes!
Better than us.
Did Leonardo
The answer is absolutely not.
Did Leonardo da Vinci have a love for nature? And yes, the answer is yes. Well done, guys. Okay, so we have 2 people left. Next up, we have John with Luca Pacioli. The father of accounting said a person should not go to sleep at night with debts that equal the credits. Okay, here we go. Go.
Hi, I am Johnny, and I will talk about mathematicians. Luca Pacioli was a great mathematician, and he is sometimes called the father of accounting. Luca was a master of algebra too, and he has his own sequence like Fibonacci's, although I don't have that one in here. And he did double entrances, which most people did not actually use. They didn't think that was important or good. And also, he helped the evolution of math by writing books. And one of them was about double accounting, although I don't have any of the names of the books in here. And I don't remember what they were called. He also made complex problems easier to solve, like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Although now it's extremely easy to solve. And then he bridged the gap between abstract math and practical applications, particularly in art and design. He spread math knowledge across Europe. He also taught math. He even added symbols to math. He just did a whole lot, and it's good that he did a lot because that just shows that he played a huge role in math. He also he was also a monk and extremely famous. And my question for the listeners, what was Luca Pacioli the best at for maths? Well, actually, what was his favorite type of maths, which I should say. And that is all.
All right. Good job, John. Okay, so what was his favorite type of math? Accounting?
Algebra.
Algebra. Okay, the answer is algebra. Okay, we have one last person, Amelia, and she is covering Sandro Botticelli. So my quote for her is, every artist dips his brush into his own soul and paints his own nature into his pictures. Okay, Amelia, let's hear what you got.
Hello everyone, I'm Amelia, and today I'm going to talk about Sandro Botticelli. Sandro Botticelli was an early Renaissance artist, along with Leonardo da Vinci and Van Eyck. Unlike others, he did not make just Christian artwork. Sandro made mythological pieces, portraits, and altarpieces. Botticelli believed in something called humanism. What is humanism, and how does it connect to his art? Humanism is a worldview that emphasizes the value of human beings. Botticelli explores emotional depth, beauty, and uses human anatomy and perspective in his work. He had patrons for his art. They were the Medici family. Sandro actually became close friends with Lorenzo Medici. Lorenzo had a painting from Botticelli hung in his office. How did he keep his painting so well preserved? He mixed alabaster powder with his paint, and that kept paintings like The Birth of Venus so well preserved. I hope you enjoyed listening to these fun facts, and I hope you have a good day. Bye!
All right.
Great job. I tried so hard.
Awesome. Kind of something really interesting is that in 2013, one of his paintings sold for $10 million. So there you go. I know, that's crazy, right? Okay, so if you noticed, we did not answer all of the questions today that were asked, and it's because I want to give our listeners a chance to answer them in the comments. So if you remember any of the questions that we didn't answer, feel free to write them down, type them up, and put them into the comments. All right, have a great day.